Hello, all you beautiful people out there. What is going on? This is your friend Brady coming at you fast with an interesting video today. We are going to be interviewing James. James is working on a project utilizing Paragon assets, and today we're going to be interviewing him to find out more about what this project is. How are you doing, James?
How you doing? I'm good, man.
Good,
Uh,
good. So just tell us, what is the name of your company? What is the name of the game? What are you trying to do with this game?
so the original name of our company is Blue Jelly Games. Um, I don't know why we named it that. We kind of just me and my buddies kind of sat down and was like, you know what, let's go down this route. Let's do that. We didn't want the generic name like people usually go with like a kind of cool style name, right? We just
Right.
want one that would stand out a little bit more. It's weird. The game is called Agorah. We renamed it from Avantel because we felt that name seemed too much of a story based kind of adventure game for a name. Um, so we kind
Right.
of just changed it around a little bit to fit with a Paragon theme, as obviously that's what we're going for.
And when I
Um,
when I first heard about that name, because I do remember seeing that name somewhere,
yeah,
Aventail, I thought it was something like EverQuest.
yeah, and that's why we was like, you know what? Let's just get rid of this. Let's just change the name to something that's Paragon themed, and we just went with Agora because yeah,
And so Agora has it's spelled with an H at the end, right?
yes, we did that because what would happen is if you start typing in Agora, Google can Google might change it. See, you're looking for Paragon, so it's just for us to get more traction on that.
Got you. Got you. Okay. Okay. And so what is this game gonna be like? Because I've seen from your discords, your development updates
Mm.
that it's going to be 2 lanes. Is that correct?
No, we wanted to get out a test version, and it was gonna be one lane. But then I was like, what's the point of releasing like say like a one lane map at the moment when I can release something that's actually playable in like 2, 3, 4 weeks, whatever. That has more than one lane, that has 3 lanes and a jungle. Because before it was just me working on the maps. Now I'm outsourcing it to someone else to work on those maps, so I can get them done quicker. It's the map building that is what's taking the time and why we're not able to show anything.
So you're saying to get something playable in 4 weeks,
I can get something quote unquote playable, yes, within 4 weeks.
but
Obviously, there's going to be a lot of features missing, but
right.
it
So
it
so
can be playable.
so I think there's a different perception between being able to play it out of the UE4 engine and then being able to play it like Paragon, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So obviously, when you play it like a real game, you need servers up, you need all that kind of stuff. With the UE4 engine, you just launch it on there. I do try to run EXE builds every week just to make sure that everything's running as an actual build.
Uh-huh.
Um, that's where most of the issues lie. So that's why I'm trying to fix a lot of the bugs at the moment.
Okay. Okay. So let's go with a little bit of the history here. So
Okay.
first off, how many people are in your group?
So we've got 6 developers and 4 community manager members.
Okay, and do each of those developers work on their own thing, or are
Yeah.
you guys all working together like a round table type situation?
Usually it's they work on their own situation, so I tell them what to do, what to work on, and for that day or week, and then we sometimes work together if one of us needs help with something.
So what is your official title then?
Well, me, I'm the owner, founder.
Owner and founder. Okay.
Yeah, I just also do a lot of developing as well.
Okay, okay. And when did you guys start developing this iteration?
So
Because I'm pretty sure you guys were doing something else before this, right?
we still doing that. We have 2 games currently being made. We've got one that's a 2D kind of focused at kids. Um, 'Cause, kids are like a good market.
Uh-huh.
And then we've got this game which has been in development for about 7, 8 months now, but it's been very under the wraps. We've been working on a lot of the back end stuff before we work on much of the actual logic behind it. We wanted to make sure that we can get it online before started working on a lot of the character assets and all that. Because obviously, if there's issues with servers, the game's not really going to be playable.
Right. Servers are really important.
Servers and accounts are our main concern. Well, were our main concern for the first few months. Oh, sorry. They were my main concern for the first few months because obviously, if your accounts aren't secured, Yeah, not very good. So we wanted to make sure that all of our back end is 100% there.
So you mentioned character models. What
Yes.
characters can we expect to see in this first quote
We
unquote playable version?
we're gonna try and get out as many as possible. We also don't want to be releasing them off immediately, like every single character. We want to do it in patch updates because if you release all your content, you've got nothing to fall back on. You've got nothing to get people excited
Right.
to release. You ain't if you release, say, all, I don't know how many characters there are now. I've not really looked through. Let's say 24 characters, right? All 24. Let's say that. You don't have anything to fall back on in updates. You're just going to constantly fix things, and sometimes people can get bored and you want to add new content in. So
Okay.
we're
Okay.
expecting about probably about 12 characters on launch.
About 12. And I saw you were working with Wukong and Iggy already, right?
Yeah, I've already finished them. Yes, Wukong's double jumps, his attacks, and same with Iggy, except he doesn't have double jump.
So by finish, do you mean just animations or do you mean
No,
like
they
dealing
work. No,
damage and
yeah, they
costing
deal damage.
mana,
Yeah, they deal damage and take mana.
scaling with items, all that?
Yep, all works.
And how long did it
Um,
take you to do one character? Let's say just Iggy.
Probably it took me a long time. I didn't obviously keep track. I think I did it over a few days because obviously I've never worked with locomotions before.
Uh-huh.
I did explain this in one of my streams. I've done it a lot differently. I've made my own state machines and used things like that. So with the locomotion, I got very confused with it all because I didn't know how to do it. So I took a lot of time researching that. Um, but I managed to get, I say Iggy, probably over about 2 days of like a few 8-hour shifts working on it.
So by research, so you learned all this stuff on your own?
Yep.
Did
I, I,
you
I personally did, yes.
so you just sat there in your room and looked at YouTube videos all day and learned all this?
Yeah, so I've been doing UE4 development for well, since it's been a while actually. It's over 2 years, right? But I've also got a degree in C sharp or like actual development coding.
Okay, so you finished college for that?
Yes, I'm in the UK, so we finish it earlier. We finished at 17.
Oh, really? Yeah, because I was gonna say
Yeah,
you sound a little young.
yeah. No, I'm 17. We finish at 17. So,
That's
but
impressive.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Here in the States, on average, people finish college when they're 21,
yeah, I know it's a nightmare out there.
21 or 22. Huh. Okay. Interesting. You learn
That's
something
what I'm
new every
saying.
day.
Unlike Metabuff and Predecessor, they're doing theirs in their free time, right? Like a lot of
Right.
their development's free time work. This is everyday constant work for me. I get up at 6 a.m., finish about 9 p.m.
And so I was gonna ask that question next. That's actually a great lead-in,
Yeah.
because I'm skeptical as everyone else should be, right?
Everyone, no,
And
I
and
agree with that, and I
and when
understand.
you talked about you were getting all this done in this short period of time, I was thinking about other game development and other
Yeah,
studios and companies, and not even predecessor or
yeah, just
core,
other
but
studios in
just
general.
other. Like I made this example with Gearbox and Borderlands 3, right? Like they've been
Yeah,
working on that for like what 5 years now,
yeah.
and it takes a really long time to develop a game properly. And so I'm just over here thinking, how are you managing to do this at this pace?
Yeah.
What do you do to like? Do you consolidate things? Do you have some sort of method of working? Like
I
what's
have
your
a very
process?
strict I have a very strict method of working. So I get up at 6 a.m. every morning. UE4 is always loaded on my computer. I've got on my second monitor, I've got a load of lists of current updates. My developers constantly send in things they've worked on. I know what I'm working on. Um, and although these companies take 5, 6 years to make a game, their game's way more in depth than what we're trying to do at the moment. We only have one map. We've only got a select few of characters and our friend system, and that's basically it. So with like say Borderlands, their game's massive. And a lot of the time with game development, it's actually what rendering it down and actually creating an exe build is what takes most of the time.
Right.
Um, when obviously with my strict method of working, I make sure that I get at least 8 hours done every day, and I also stick to one thing before I work. A lot of people will go off on different things, working
Uh
throughout the
huh.
day. Like they'll start off with a character, get bored, go on to like something else. We make sure we finish what we're working on first before we move on to any other thing.
And that's how it should be, right?
Yeah, it
Because
is how it should be, but some
people
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 just
are really
don't do it.
bad at humans. Just naturally, the way our brain is wired, we're not good at multitasking.
No, and that's where you start getting stuck when you start multitasking as well. And that's also why I have the roadmap saying where with my developers, where I know what they're doing and I know what I'm doing.
So you have a link to this roadmap.
I do.
Okay, so I'll post that in the description of this video
Yep.
then, and also at the end I'll ask you for your other socials, and I'll post those in the
Yeah, that's
description
fine.
as well.
Yep.
Okay, so then I guess we covered the basics. So you said you have 6 developers, you have 4
hmm
community managers,
Yeah.
and then you've been working on this for, you said, 7, 8 months now.
7 to 8 months. Yeah, working on the back end was a lot of the time. So we've only really been working on characters like 3 months now. And we
Okay.
have stuff. We have stuff that we are actually planning to release to show you guys pretty soon. But again, from your video earlier, you said you didn't really want to see just little bits. You wanted to see a proper thing. Is that
Right.
correct?
Yeah, well, that's just personally me. I don't know about other
Okay.
people.
Well, we'll release. We are going to release some stuff, obviously, over the next
Yeah,
few
you
weeks. I
you
think.
do you do you, of course. Don't let
Yeah.
one person influence what you do.
No, we don't at
But
all.
but I wanted to follow up. So this that you're releasing is a video or something playable or
Yeah. So
what?
no, we'll release a video first, and then when we've got a playable build, we'll release something. We were actually planning on releasing a client that just allows the player to log on, select a character, and just play around with their abilities.
Uh-huh.
That actually work. Obviously, the abilities work, and now constantly get updated, so that way you guys know how the abilities. You learn how they work again, if that makes sense. Because obviously, it's been a while since Paragon's closed. Some people may, or new players might not know what they're doing.
Right. You need
Because
kind of like a
obviously,
tutorial.
yeah. So we're thinking of just releasing something like that within the next like few weeks.
Okay, and you guys are using the gameplay ability system?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's I
That's
believe
not
that's
really
what.
my area. That's one of my other developer Mark's his area, but
Gotcha.
I don't really
Um,
know what I'm doing with that.
all right. So then, what specifically is your job then? What do you
So I mainly
develop?
look over a lot of stuff with the teams. I make sure that they're doing what they need to do. I work on mainly characters
Okay.
because I'm not a very artistic person when it comes to map designs. And I struggle with that, and even UIs. I'm very good at UIs. I also have qualification in graphics design, so I'm good at UI management and artwork. So that's what I do. I do all the UI work, so the HUDs, inventories, and I do a few of the characters. Like I've done Wukong, I did Iggy, and I'm doing at the moment Shimbi. We're building her from the ground up. So
Shimby. Wow. Okay. So my next question is then, what about lore? What are you guys doing about lore?
we're thinking of recreating the lore,
Just completely recreating it.
completely recreating it because we feel that obviously a lot of the people don't know what the lore is, right? A lot of new players don't know what the lore is,
It was pretty.
and
It was pretty behind the curtains.
yeah, it was very. I mean, I didn't really pick up on it at all. Like when I, like literally, first time I heard a lot of the lore lines was when I was going through the voice acting lines, and I was like, I don't know what any of this is, because obviously, Epic Games they did their best to try and tell us the lore, but they didn't really do very well. If that's my opinion, I don't think they did very well in the lore at all. Um, we're thinking of just recreating the lore entirely.
Okay.
We
Okay.
have, there is someone in my mind who is very good at story development. He's written like comic books. He's worked a few movies, got an IMDb and everything like that. So I'm thinking of getting him to write a story for the
No,
game.
that should be pretty good.
Yeah, he's one of my guys from college I went to actually. He's very good at what he does.
Huh.
So
Okay. So then coming. Yeah. So you want to make your own lore. What
hmm
about what about game modes?
see, this is where we need the community input because we don't know what you guys want really. Um, we always encourage people to give us suggestions of what they want because we don't know. We don't want to just go ahead and release like a 5v5 map if you don't want it. Obviously, we're going to release 5v5 normal, and then we've got ranked is also in the works. We
Right.
want to get a playable build first before we start adding in elo and ranks and everything else. I don't know what else. And obviously, what would that's the thing. I don't know what the community really wants with it
Well, I mean,
with game modes.
I think just what other typical MOBAs have. Obviously, you
Yeah.
need the 5v5 3 lanes.
Yeah, obviously you need the 5v5 free lanes. We were looking at an arena mode, like what Smite have.
Uh-huh.
Short-paced, fast-paced games that are in a small environment. Jungles are very easily accessible, like to the left and right, and that's kind of what we was looking at. But we need to take a step back and have a look.
So you mentioned that when you played Paragon, you didn't really notice the lore. How
No.
much did you play Paragon? And then
Um.
what inspired you to make this game after playing Paragon?
So I played Paragon. Obviously, I didn't play it like you guys probably played it. You guys probably played it day in, day out.
I have at
I played
least
it.
50 days on it.
Yeah, I played around in my spare time from coming back from college, in and out. Kind of just playing it then. I played it more for having fun with the game rather than taking interest with the storylines or with the characters. Um, and I loved the game in general because I loved the way the movement in the game felt. The movement for me was a big one. It was really weird. My friends kept calling me weird for it, but the movement was so fluent, and I loved it. It's not been like that in any other game I've really played.
Yeah,
Do you
very
know what I mean,
fluid,
though?
very fluid, and it makes sense because it's completely three dimensional with the Z axis,
Yeah,
which I think that's what because when I play Smite, it just feels clunky.
yeah. Smite is the animation blueprints as well for Smite is horrible. Um, but we wanted to kind of just when obviously Epic Games were like, "Hey, we're shutting this down." I was like, "Great!" So now I'm just gonna play Fortnite. So I was like, "I'm just gonna learn UE4, start building this up as a project."
Right.
Because I was like, "I want to play this game again, even if it's just me playing against bots. I don't care. I'll play." You know. So
And a lot of
that's what
people
we've been
I
doing.
think
Yeah,
share that notion that they don't care. They just want to, even if it's against bots, they'll play it.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a lot of info there that I personally didn't know.
Mm,
I'm sure my viewers appreciate you taking the time to answer these questions,
that's all good.
throwing a little more light on there.
Yeah, we just
So
wanted to be more transparent.
so and transparency is key for sure.
Yes.
As my cat walks across my desk here. He wants to ask some questions too. Come on. I don't no, don't jump that way. That's where my computer is. Okay.
My cat jumped on my monitor and broke it like 2 weeks ago, so that was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a little adventurer.
Uh,
He's a good boy. He's a good boy.
yeah.
Okay. So, I'm just trying to think of any other interesting questions at this point cuz I feel like I've asked everything I wanted to ask.
Hmm.
What was your favorite who was your favorite character in Paragon?
Oh, okay. So I didn't really have a favorite. I used to just play a lot of. I used to play Revenant a lot because he was broken. Um, and Wukong was my favorite as well because he's so good at farming. So that's
Would
what
you
I do. I mainly farm and jungler.
would you rework Revenant because he was so broken?
Hmm. We've actually said this in the Discord. We're reworking him, so we're actually thinking of giving him an 8 bullet chamber instead of a 4 bullet chamber, but does less damage per shot.
8 bullets
So
instead
to
of 4.
Yeah. So instead of we need that's obviously we need the feedback for that. So instead of having Revenant shoot 4 bullets, then reload, where he does a lot of damage each bullet, we're gonna lower the damage from the bullets and give him an 8 bullet chamber, but a longer time before he can shoot again. Does that make sense? Per shot.
Yeah, that makes sense, but uh Revenant's revolver only has
No,
4
yes.
chambers.
We're reworking the actual design.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
see.
we're reworking the design. We're gonna split it again in half. So that way it's got 8 little chambers.
8 little baby chambers. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Because that's
Interesting.
what our main thing was. People were like, "Wait, what? There's only like 4 things." We're like, "Yeah, well, no, we're gonna rework it. We're going into Maya 3D and just gonna rework it." So
All right. Okay. Okay.
that's obviously gonna take a bit of time, but we are doing it as quick as possible. I've
So,
got someone working on that.
and then just going real quick back to the transparency topic.
Yes,
So is Trello gonna be the only thing you guys do in that regard, or are you gonna do live streams, kind of like how Sergeant Smokey does it?
we do. We do streams. I've been doing streams on the Play Agorah channel. Oh God, my voice. Yeah, I do streams on the channel every now and then. Obviously, if it's not super private work,
Uh huh.
I'll stream. because some things we don't want to leak out to the public yet. Because
Right.
we've got some big plans when it comes to ranked modes and stuff. The roadmap for the Trello, we're going to be posting everything we do on there. So any updates, bugs we find, and then when alpha comes out, we've got an alpha content page there as well where you guys can post stuff that you find issues on. We're going to work around giving you guys that feature. We've also got a planned content page, and that tells you everything we've got planned for the future. So we're going to make sure that we're very transparent from now on, going forward.
And where are you guys? So I'm assuming nobody's really getting paid for this, right?
No, they are. So we pay our staff a little. It's mainly on how much work they do. They get paid.
Okay,
Um,
and then so how are you guys gonna accumulate this money? Is there like a Kickstarter page or like
um,
donations?
we will be working on a Kickstarter page pretty soon, but currently, right now, it's mainly from little jobs I've been doing from the side to side when I'm not working.
This is all coming out of your pocket.
Mine and one of my, I've got sorry, we've got someone who is sponsoring the game in a way, sponsoring the development.
I could hear the air quotes in that. What? So they're just.
Like a partnership, basically.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We have a partnership with another company who are another game developer. They are giving us the money, and we pay them back when the game's done.
Okay. So that makes sense then how you're able to have people working such long shifts
Yeah,
and not
yeah,
complaining about it.
no,
Okay.
yeah. It makes a lot of sense when you see it all. When you just say it, doesn't really make much sense. But it's like I said, I've got a very good mindset of what I'm doing with the game and where I want
Well,
it to go.
you sound confident.
Yeah, and I mean, I've always been the kind of person who has an idea. I'll do everything I can to make that real. You know. And if obviously when this game releases, hey, if there's a bug, like hey, let's say gadget's broken, right?
Right.
We'll fix that like immediately. That won't even, or we won't let that play on it for we won't let the players use that for a long period of time. We'll get it out as quick as possible with a patch.
So you are confident and determined.
Yes, very determined for this. I genuinely want the community to be like, you know what? I know Core and Predecessor are doing a lot of good stuff, but like I want them to be like, you know what? These guys know what they're doing. These guys know what they're doing. They know what they want to do. They're listening to us. We're gonna. The community comes first for us,
Okay.
straight up.
And so how? Because when I was in the Discord, it wasn't obviously as poppin' as the other Discords, right? So how do you
Nah,
plan on
obviously.
building that community?
See, that's the thing. We were actually looking at kind of just outsourcing to YouTubers and to Twitch streamers, and we're like, we'll offer you like partnerships to do this, that, or like work on building relationships with the viewers and the fan base, and then that way they expand out. Like they expand, they tell their friends, get people in Discord. We also are thinking of setting up invite rewards pretty soon as well.
Okay.
People who they invite so many friends, they get a reward in game, and that'll be in-game currency they get.
So you thought about a lot of this.
hmm
Okay.
I thought a lot of the future stuff, a lot of the things that obviously currently core and predecessor, I don't think they're even thinking about the future right now. And although sometimes it can be bad to think about the future, it's also very good because you know what you're gonna do, you know what you want, you know the goals that you're gonna get to.
Oh, all right. Uh, so you got the whole shoot for the stars, land on the moon mentality going right now.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good. Definitely gotta dream big, and that's how
mm.
dreams turn into reality when you put that work
You
behind
put
it.
the effort in. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, sounds like good stuff, man. As long if there's gonna be a 5v5 3 lane
yeah, it's
mode,
gonna. Yeah, yeah.
then
That's actually what we're working on right now. That's the main focus.
all right. Well, that sounds like an interesting thing. I'm sure my viewers agree.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
so where can they find more information about this?
So we're going to be posting live pre-alpha updates, like obviously updates where, as we're going through it, we'll be posting updates on the website and on the Trello page and on our YouTube channel and our Twitter. Twitter is the main thing. We release a lot of sneak peeks and updates on there.
Okay, and I'll put all those links in the description
Mm-hmm.
again for my viewers.
It's all fun. Yep.
All right. Well, thank you so much, James. I really do appreciate you taking the time to do
No
this
problem, man.
interview with me. Any final things to say?
So the 5th of July is when we have a trailer coming out.
The
That's our
5th of
announcement
July.
trailer. 5th of July, we have an announcement trailer coming out. And it's not going to show gameplay, but it will show cinematic gameplay. So it will be actual gameplay, but in a cinematic environment, if that makes sense.
Like a trailer.
Yeah, like a trailer.
Okay. All right. Well, that's something already, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so
It's
thank
already being
you.
edited.
Thank you for that, James. I really do appreciate it.
problem,
And
man.
to my YouTube audience, thank you so much for tuning into this video. Hopefully you found it enjoyable, informative, interesting, all of the above. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, drop a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, make sure to have a wonderful day. Peace.